Next, what we have is many-to-many relation using Fluent API. We need many-to-many relationship for our book and author classes. As we know that in order to accomplish that, we will add an intermediate table for book author, and then we'll have list of book author in both book as well as author classes. That being said, in the onModel creating, this is what we did when we had to do using data annotation and we added the foreign key attribute. In order to do the same foreign key relation, we will be using Fluent API and we will be using two one-to-many relation. As a combination of those two one-to-many relationship, it will end up referencing itself as many-to-many relation. So right here, what we will first do is on book author, we will have has one book, and on the return side, we will have with many book author. Similarly, on book author, we have the author property. On that, we will do has one author, but that author has many book author. So that way it will end up that books and author both will have many-to-many relation. Let's give this a try and see how this works out. We'll switch back here to the application and I'll close this. We have the Fluent book. So inside Fluent book right here, we will do public and we can either have an iCollection or you can use a list here, but we need the Fluent book author. Then let me call this Fluent book authors. We will have the getter and setter. We need this exact same property inside our author class. So that will be Fluent author. We will paste it right here. Next we need to work on is the book author. Right here we have the book underscore ID and author underscore ID. Along with that we need the navigation for them. So we'll do prop for the models of Fluent book. We'll call this as Fluent book. I'll copy this and paste this one more time. This time it will be for Fluent author. We'll call it the same here, Fluent author. Now we need to add the foreign key property here with data annotation, but we will do that using Fluent API and we will add the relation. So let me switch here. Right here, we need three things. Let me set up the many-to-many relation here. First thing, we need a composite primary key. I recall we did that right here on the top, composite key. We'll copy this and we'll paste it right here for our book author Fluent. So we'll have Fluent underscore book author. And this looks good. All the relation will be on Fluent book author. We can copy one of these and paste it right here. We need two one-to-many relation, so let me paste it 2 times. Awesome. So what we'll do first is we will have the Fluent book author in both the entities and then has one. What will a book author have one? That will be the book itself. So it will have one book, but that book can have many book authors. So here we will say Fluent book authors, that will be many. And what will be the foreign key? We already have that. And that is book underscore ID. We'll do the same here. So have one will be Fluent book. And it will have many authors in them. What will be the foreign key for that? That will be author ID. This is all we had to do for many-to-many relation binding. Once we do that, let me save this and add a migration. We will say add many-to-many book and author. Let's take a look at the migration. Here it creates the table for Fluent underscore book author and it creates two properties. First is book ID, author ID, and Fluent underscore author ID. Now, if you think about it, it should only create 2 columns. I want you to pause the video and analyze on why it is creating that third column. The reason for this is we have a mistake inside what we did with the Fluent API. If you take a look closely, you will be able to figure out what was wrong there. Okay, I hope you were able to figure that out. If you go to the application DB context, right here you see Fluent book has many book authors. If we take a look right here, again Fluent book has many book authors. This should be Fluent author. Because of this error, it was adding that additional third column and it was messing things up. We have corrected that, so if we add a new migration, it should drop this column. Let's go here. I'll call this as correction. And the first thing you see here is it is dropping the key, and then right here it drops that column Fluent author author ID. It creates a new index, adds a new foreign key, and everything looks good here. Let's update the database and see this from the database perspective. It has been pushed. Let's go back to the database and we'll go to our wizlib tables. We need to examine the Fluent book authors. If we take a look at the columns, you see we have book ID and author ID, and this is consistent with what we have in columns for book author. So with this, we have completed the many-to-many relationship using Fluent API.